Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. We just saw a fantastic game number 2 between NetWars and SouL. Koget taking down Spire. No, Koget taking down Noob even. Get my Koreans mixed up. But still a great game nonetheless, and we're going to be heading into another game, which should be pretty sick as well. It's Bonyth versus ByuL. That should be awesome.
I just can't. This just keeps getting better and better. The players get better on both sides. It's like we're powering up for that one final matchup, which, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be Yeti versus Scan. Just disgusting. I am nauseated by the travesty that is the tournament you have here, Kicks. What have you done?
It's
Games
awful.
are too good.
It's like you're living on a constant sugar rush. But it's a sugar rush of StarCraft games. That's a good sugar rush to live by, and it's how I've been living the past probably a year and a half. So it's all good. But either way, we'll quickly bring up the overlay to introduce our players. Bonyth for NetWars hasn't played as much recently tournament-wise. Obviously went on a long break to become a Heroes of Magic 3 pro for a while. Did become quite a big streamer in that scene. Obviously a very, very good Protoss player. One of the best foreign Protoss players of the last 5 years at least. One of the best foreign players ever when it comes to skill, I guess. Obviously you can't count out people like Elki and Guru because they actually won tournaments in Korea. But in the modern era, Bonyth definitely one of those top ranked players, along with players like Eon Zerg, True Touch as well, and even Koga. I mean, NetWars is just so stacked. But his opponent, the winner, if I remember correctly, of the ACS is going to be our Korean Terran here, fighting for SouL Gaming. It's going to be ByuL. He's currently on an undefeated record in round 3 since he joined, and he is a very, very strong player against Protoss. 3-0 against Protoss here, and his opponent in the finals, I believe, was the school Protoss player as well. But I think I'm getting the tournaments mixed up with him. But either way, Colosseum 2, a great map. Been showing a little bit imbalanced since EVP, but PvT perfectly balanced so far. We've had 4 PvTs, all have ended with a 2-2 at the end of it. So let's get into game number 3 with Bonyth with a 2-0 victory. Obviously, if he wins this game, NetWars will take the series and give SouL their first loss in round number 3. Or is ByuL going to be able to bring it back to bring it to 2-1 and take us into game number 4? Let's get started with game... let's get started. Speaking of getting us started, in the top right-hand position we do have the blue Protoss fighting for NetWars. It's going to be Bonyth.
And his opponent, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, it is ByuL, or Eros ByuL, ASL qualified player, won the ACS like you said, and it's just absolutely slaying it. This guy has some of the most solid reactionary Terran play. He is able to deal with even what pro gamers throw at him. Crisis management, just so sick. But he does struggle when he has to craft a plan on how to win the game himself. Sometimes his builds are not super well designed with that in mind. But his fundamentals are super solid, and it's just one of the biggest kind of players to kind of come into the modern scene after in the modern era. Just really excited to see him play here, especially against Bonyth. I mean, this guy is just talent personified, so can't wait to watch this game.
Yeah, he's also, if I remember rightly, ByuL was actually, for the ACS, trained by Flash. So ByuL's got a little bit of Flash in him when it comes to his style. Very, very strong defensively. Bonyth, of course, very aggressive in PvZ. Not really seen too much of his PvT. I mean, I've been casting the foreign scene since late 2014. And for a large period of that, there wasn't really any Terrans whatsoever. So cool to see how Bonyth's PvT holds up. Obviously, his PvT is probably most definitely the best outside of Korea. So is his PvT going to hold a candle?
That's right. It's very matchup dependent. So one of the most impressive games that I saw from ByuL, I think might have been in STPL, might have been in a different tournament. Maybe this is a Have At You. I want to say, yeah, probably that. I think I was casting with Nyokin, and the defensive way that this guy plays is so like frustrating. Like when I watch him do it, I simultaneously respect him and throw up in my mouth because it is so slow, so methodical. It's like the biggest thing he does each minute is siege and unsiege a tank. Like, ugh, disgusting. But he has inevitability on his side. And I remember he was playing DeWalt, and DeWalt just ran units into him over and over again. DeWalt lost that game with 16k resources in the bank.
Wow.
Because he just couldn't do anything with them. They just died to the 3/3 tanks. So if the game gets to that point, I'm going to bed, Kicks. It's gonna be a long one, but it might not even get there. I'm excited to see what the potential is, because it looks like we just have walling off going into 1-1-1 behind this for ByuL, and Bonyth is just doing the most standard Protoss opener you could imagine.
Yeah, no, the poll results are in. Bonyth with 73% of the votes. Maybe people not as well versed with ByuL's play, but I certainly think it's going to be a little bit closer than the audience think it is. I think this could realistically go 50-50. I'd maybe give the edge to ByuL. I mean, his TVP is absolutely insane. You saw him go into that scout on that third pylon as well. Bonyth tried to hide it from him. You can't hide something from someone who is trained by Flash. He has got impeccable scouting. He's got impeccable defensive play as well. And it's going to be Bonyth to find an answer.
Kicks, your microphone. Hello? Please respond. Or it's the Kicks.
What?
I mean, Kicks. It sounds like you have. It sounds like Latte is laying on your microphone.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. I think I may have accidentally lent into my pop shield or something. But either way,
were you rubbing up against it, Kicks?
No,
What's going on here?
No, you said my mic cut out, so I was trying to fix the cable, but it wasn't that.
Okay, Kicks. Sure. Nobody's gonna judge you. I'm just trying to say it. If you want to come clean before or after the Pomp Pomp song, just let me know.
Now, Bonyth is trying to break his way through here. Is this going to work to his advantage? He doesn't actually manage to kill the Marine yet. He does get a decent amount of damage down on this supply depot. Going to force a couple of SCVs off the line. But the trouble is, that's damage down on his Zealot already. And even the tank on the high ground is going to be doing a lot of damage. But one of the main features of this map is a sledge, so...
It's a really weird kind of dynamic, especially when you go for this wall off instead of a bunker here. You're going to force some repair, but more importantly, you give your Dragoons high ground. And even against siege tank shots, you can actually stay there for a while. And you also have the option of going around the other side and kind of pressuring from the high side towards the supply depots. But in the end, siege mode is still pretty good. And it's going to try to make these Dragoons' lives a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, so the expansion is up a little bit quicker there for ByuL. The Nexus only just now finishing up, but Bonyth with impeccable probe transferring, does mean artist probes over just in time. The Armory coming in for ByuL, so going for that flash style, one factory Armory. Likely going to see some Goliaths coming out from him as well. If I remember rightly, in that ByuL versus DeWalt series, he used that quite a lot. To deal with sort of early shuttle play. He hasn't seen, but there is actually going to be a shuttle coming his way, and a robo support bay. So Bonyth going for what he's known for, his Reavers.
How much crazier good can this game get? We're going to get to see iconic Bonyth. This is, and it's so good on this map too. Just because of the 360-degree angle you have to defend your natural expansion from. It's just really, really difficult. You can just shove a shuttle down the left-hand side of the map, and what's going to stop it? What do you build to stop that? It's just going to be really difficult. So, looking forward to seeing it. It is very, very strong. Bonyth also going to be able to expand to a third base really, really quickly if he wants to. And it's going to take some time for ByuL to bust out of his base.
Yeah, now ByuL is actually saving up for a third command center. Very, very Flash-esque. Likely going to see a couple of vultures coming in here. Oh no, it's going to be a Goliath, okay. Does manage to get his first scan off. Scans the main, sees the support bay, sees the Reaver pop out and sees the shot as well, so he's going to be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, that was a money scan if I've ever seen one. It's just like the perfect timing. And I want to say that he's just such a sick badass Gosu that he knows exactly when he needs to scan. Maybe there's a little bit of luck in there too. Really, really sick to see everything that's going on there for Bonyth. So ByuL, absolutely insane position. Knows immediately to get Goliath's Charon boosters here. And this is the build that goes for Goliath instead of Vultures, so a little bit of a different way to play, but it's perfectly designed to stop this shuttle play.
Yeah, but the trouble is his only Goliath, his only anti-air is in the... okay, he's got a second Goliath now, but it's in the wrong place, so if this shuttle drops the Reaver and kills the Goliath, that's going to be a really huge amount of damage that Bonyth can achieve. Now, he did see that there is a third command center coming up here, so maybe he'll choose just to sort of sit back. He is going to go out with his 6 Dragoons as well, knows that, or his 8 Dragoons, he knows there's not going to be any Vultures here for the time being, and he's actually going into a very, very fast Stargate.
Yeah, Bonyth is chilling at this point, but he is going to put on pressure at the front to try to draw some units there, and then run in with the Reaver from down below. Does have a couple of Zealots in it if he wants to use it to Bulldog through this of sorts. But this is just going to be a really cool push. I think it's set up to work if it can find a weak spot between the Goliaths.
Yeah, I think if anything, he's waiting for the command center. He knows that he's not realistically going to do too much damage with the Reaver. If he can, it's going to be a very big, obviously, very big benefit for him. But he knows that, well, he's seen that ByuL is pretty locked up tight. There's a lot of turrets here defending this natural, so all ByuL needs to do is defend his main, and he's already got 4 Goliaths here with a lot of tanks, and it looks like it's his time to try and push on
yeah,
forward.
a lot of turrets too. He's got 4 up on the natural, and might throw some down in the main as well. But he's got tons of Goliaths there too. And I think it's looking like it is about time. Kicks are moving in, and here comes the Reaver. Oh, let's see what the first shot's gonna look like. It's actually gonna be really good. Oh, he walked into siege tank range with it.
He pulled back a little bit too quickly, but good scans by ByuL to check if there are any units there. Now, the one problem that Bonyth may have is it's very difficult to actually retreat from this position. I mean, he does get a good Reaver Scarab shot off on the Marines at the front. Not really doing too much damage to the Goliaths behind those, so... I mean, he is delaying this third base, but does need to make sure he doesn't lose his units. These units are all he has right now, and he's getting a good position, at least on the Goliaths for now.
Yeah, but he knows when to back out. That's really, really important. He leaves at a pretty appropriate time and recognizes that, yeah, if he loses any part of that army, especially the Reaver, ByuL's just going to push across the map and kill him. So the bad part of this is that he does kind of cede this 6 o'clock area to ByuL and allow him a third base. And this is where ByuL gets really frustrating, because he will stay on a third base for 35 minutes, Kicks.
The problem is, though,
just forever.
He's on a timer now. It's not like a normal PvT. Bonyth going for his carriers, cross-position carriers on this map, very, very strong. He scanned the carriers, so he is going to be able to get ready. But I mean, this is already a decent position for Bonyth. There's not that many factories in. You can see ByuL is already adding on 6 extra factories in one go. He's cut unit production entirely to do this. And the Reaver coming in from the side is going to run into a turret and be forced back. But still, the threat of the Reaver is still there. This third base is not entirely secure at the bottom half to the Reaver as well. So there's still options for Bonyth to do damage. He's still building up a large ground force as well. And he's not relying only on the carriers.
I mean, you say that, but he's got, what, 3 Stargates, all pumping carriers, and already 2 carriers out. So it's going to be a lot of them. But I know what you're saying, Kicks. It's not like he's just completely forgetting to actually have an army. He's got about 20-25 supply of Dragoons down there. Still has the shuttle with the Zealots. And he's got like a full control group and a half of Zealots too. So he's good, right? And he's on time, expanding around the map. Dude, this is set up to be exactly a mirror match of that DeWalt versus ByuL match from Have At You. That just lasted, I think, 55 minutes. I think it was right around 55 minutes.
Wow.
And DeWalt just kept like sending in hundreds of supply. Now the downside is that DeWalt had, I think, maybe 60 to 80 probes that whole game. So he had a lot of probes, and that really kind of hurt his army size. So when he was attacking, it wasn't really a gigantic army. So yeah, that sucks. But I don't think we're going to see that this game. And Bonyth is, I think, maybe a little bit better with carriers.
Yeah.
If dare I say. But all I'm trying to say is ByuL can make this go really late, and it's already about 7 a.m. here.
Oh my god, the probe line is actually being defended by the Dragoons there, but good moves by ByuL does get in position to deny the mining at the 4th base. At least for the time being. There are some cannons there, so they are going to be able to stop the vultures getting in. But this is just kind of an annoyance for Bonyth to really deal with. The real story, obviously, back at home is the carrier count is now up to 4. He's adding on a 5th carrier as well. He's going into Psionic Storm. And Bonyth, when he gets his Storm, when he gets his carriers, that is when he really comes into his own.
ByuL's building 9 Goliaths at a time, Kicks. Like, he's just like, well, what units do I need here? It's like, well, Goliaths and Goliaths and Goliaths. But luckily, Gateway Man is the big counter to Goliaths. You do not want those guys shooting down, if at all possible. So if you can kick them, tip them over, force them to shoot their air missiles at the ground units, that's what you want.
Yeah, the one thing is here as well, we do have 2-1 upgrades finally in for ByuL, so getting those upgrades perfectly on time going into 3-2 as well. But here we go, looks like Bonyth is going to try and push forward. He does have his carriers in a decent position now. How much damage can he do? The Goliaths are actually out of position. I mean, there are vultures in this 4th base, but these carriers could take down a lot of these tanks before Gateway Man really gets a chance to do too much. And that's a huge moment in this game.
There's a bunch of Goliaths also just back at home too. I think the carrier count isn't to like that ultra scary number. It's only at 5, I believe. Let me check that. Yeah, 5 carriers, but there's 3 more about to pop out, and the difference between 5 and 8 carriers is just so monumental. Goliaths just evaporate, and it's really, really hard to keep the count as high as you need to protect these siege tanks with the push.
Yeah, now, I mean, the Goliaths, obviously, with their 2-1 upgrades, going to have the upgrade advantage over Bonyth for the time being. But Bonyth actually has +2 air attack already. That was one thing I didn't miss with the Cybernetic score, but this is just such a strong army from Bonyth.
Yeah, and I think ByuL recognizes that. He is going to pull back. He's actually killed everything at the 4th base somehow as well. Even the probes that are AFK and not busy building cannons.
Yeah.
To be fair, it takes a good player, a really good player, to be able to hold on the only push that matters and still micro things at that base. So carriers are going to move up to take these 4 vultures out, but ByuL is seizing a very important moment to push right up the middle of the map.
Yeah, and the thing is, we do actually have a command center going down in the 7 or the 5 o'clock position, but there is a shoal here. There's no actual units in there. The Reaver's actually back in the natural, well, near enough near the natural anyway, and it's going to be carriers on the high ground.
The Reaver didn't have any scares, it dies instantly, and so now this forces these carriers to come into play. Now this is a higher carrier count, it's up to 6 with 2 carriers where I do not know. Oh, they're AFK in the main. Ugh, that feels bad. Could definitely use these to defend here, and I think Bonyth is starting to really have to face do or die time. This is a force that absolutely needs to be stopped before it hits this 3rd.
Yeah, this is 9 or 10 factories worth of production right now. He has to cut the unit count. He's on the high ground. He's getting a decent number of these tanks, but the interceptor count is so low at the moment. He's having so much trouble, and the tanks are going to get in position over this 3rd base. The 4th base still not mining. 2 tanks able to take out all of the probes there, all of the cannons, and it looks like ByuL is going to be able to do it. He's broken through, and he's taking down so much.
Yeah, man, 8 carriers. Oh my goodness, this is just so heartbreaking. Bonyth, once again, he's got like 1k, and he just can't stop this mech army. Now, eventually, maybe he can do it, but like you said, Kix, the interceptor count is just so low, he can't buy enough time to get the interceptors out that he needs.
Yeah, and the tanks are attacking the natural as well from this low ground position. There's absolutely nothing Bonyth can do at the moment. He's transferring probes into siege tank fire.
Oh, DTs. Oh, he's got DTs killing off the Goliaths. Scans are going to deal with those, but actually the Goliaths are way out of position to defend the tanks. So several siege tanks get taken down, but it's just too late. He's lost
Yeah.
every Nexus except his main.
He can't he can't resupply his interceptors anymore. That's the big problem. Like, I know Relentless said in chat it's better to get past the 2-1, but when you're up against 10 factories worth of production, what realistically are you going to do as a carrier player? You can't build enough units when you're going 3 Stargate carrier to deal with this. And this is just a result of this. Look at the train of Goliaths coming forward. And there's still like 20 Goliaths in his natural as well. Just absolutely insane. GG. ByuL takes down Bonyth and does give SouL their first win in the series.
Oh, I'm getting tingles, kicks. This takes us to game number 4. We're going to get a chance to watch the best win rate player in STPL, Yeti, coming up next against Scan, a huge fixture of both Korean and non-Korean communities. I can't wait to watch this. Every single game has just been super epic, and I'm still hoping for the ace match. It's not like I'm rooting against Yeti because I want to see that ace match, but everybody should be wishing for more games to be played in this series, and that's how we get it. So can't wait to see what game is coming, or what the game coming up next is going to look like.
Yep, and it'll be back in just a second.